Katarina Leigh Waters, she's starring in films, co-starring in films, I should say, involved in acting. She also is involved in her wrestling. Are there other projects, other things that you're doing these days?
No, I think that about covers it. I mean, I'm writing some scripts myself, and I do some like hobby photography and stuff like that. But yeah, wouldn't say like there's a concrete project that I have right now that I'm working on, but I have a few that I'm sort of looking at putting together.
You enjoy the creative side of life. How was that something you always had when you were young as well, or is that just something that came on later on?
No, I always had that. When I was little, I used to write a lot of short stories and poems, and we had a children's page in a local newspaper, and so I would sometimes get a poem or a short story published there. And then I would sit at home at my typewriter and write. I really always loved that, and we always, as kids, we loved theater, and we used to put on little plays together and things like that. So it's definitely always been something that I've loved, enjoyed.
Did you ever think about, maybe you have, I don't know, posting your poems or writing other poems, something along those lines?
I have thought about it. I've procrastinated on it. For sure, that's something to look out for in the future.
You were born in Germany, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Your parents are from England.
Yes.
And then what happened? Tell me there. You ended up growing up in England, correct?
I grew up in Germany, and then when I was 18, I moved to England.
All right, so you grew up in Germany then. Tell me about wrestling in Germany. Was there wrestling in Germany? Could you watch it? Were there any wrestling companies? Or did that really something you had to go to England for?
Well, I didn't know that there was an indie scene in any country. I used to watch WWF at the time, and it was on cable TV, and we'd watch it and everything like that, but I didn't know that it was something that you could actively go and learn how to do until I was in England, but that was also just coincidence that I found that out. And so there are some, independent wrestling companies in Germany, and I've wrestled in Germany since then, but at the time I just didn't have any idea.
So how does one then become someone not knowing that this exists to being able to get started in it and pursue it and then get a big break with WWE?
Well, I was in London and I was looking for something to do one evening with my sister, and then I saw a British wrestling show advertised, and I thought, hang on, wait, this is interesting. So we went to see it, and I was watching it, and I thought, well, if these people can do it, that means that I must be able to do it. So then I just asked one of the wrestlers, and then after that I did some more research on the internet and found a school, and I started just training and doing some shows and things like that, and just one thing led to another kind of thing.
Were you involved in athletics as well when you were growing up?
Not really. I did jazz dance, so I liked dance.
Was it a difficult transition then going from what you were doing into pro wrestling?
Well, it's always, no, I found myself naturally quite adept to it. Actually, I should mention too, I was doing Thai boxing as well before that. When I was at university, I did Thai boxing. I did some rock climbing, and at school, of course, we did sports. I was never ambitious in it, but we always did stuff. So yeah, I didn't find it difficult necessarily to pick up physically. Even though after the first session, I found myself, it was aching quite a bit the next day. But in general, the physical aspects of it, I didn't find so difficult to pick up.
What did you enjoy most about pro wrestling?
I've always really enjoyed the characters and the storylines, I guess, the most. Like, that would be the most important aspect for me. And then as I got into it more, once I started learning about, how to wrestle and how to put moves together and how to create an interesting sequence or dramatic sequence, then now I appreciate the wrestling a lot more, on that level as well.
Something creative and something that you're performing.
Right, exactly.
Your educational background, this is interesting too, because you're not just an athlete, you're not just an actor, you're not just a pretty face. You're a smart young lady. What is your educational background? And you went to university. Where did you go?
I went to York, which is North England, and I did film and drama there.
And just for you, was it important that you had some type of education behind you going into university?
It was more of my mom's suggestion.
Hey, at least you're honest.
I guess in my mind it was something that you did after school. You know, I hadn't really thought about not going to university. It was kind of like almost default that you would do something like that. You know, the other thing that I would have liked to have done was go to drama school. But other than that, I really enjoyed, I mean, the course was amazing. It was a very practical course. We learned all about all the different aspects about, you know, filmmaking, how to make different, you know, formats of TV shows, lighting, you know, stage. You know, we went on stage, we did set building. You know, we really learned all aspects of it. So it was really amazing sort of learning experience in that field.